Well, hey there team, and welcome back to the channel, and welcome to Roadwarden. This is the game that we're sort of doing a revisit of today. It came out about this time last year, actually, almost on the dot. And I think it's probably celebrating a sale because of that, so you can go and check it out yourself. Yeah, actually, it's about half price at the moment. Moral Anxiety Studio, geez, that's an edgy name, but they're working on, I don't want to call it a sequel, but it sounds like a spin-off, something like that, set in the Roadwarden world, but hey, that's good. You always love to see that when these little indie games get a follow-up rolling, you know, because it's a treacherous landscape being an indie developer these days. So Roadwarden, how best to describe this? First, it's not going to be for everyone, right? I think there's going to be a certain bias towards those that like text and visual novels, and funnily enough, I don't count myself amongst them that often. However, I'm a bit older as far as gamers go, and I remember growing up playing like, not choose your own adventure, but things like, what were they? Fighting fantasy, Fabled Lands, there's one that no one knows, but I played a lot of. Lone Wolf, I really enjoyed that as well. Essentially these sort of choose your own adventure RPG where you have a character in a book sort of thing. And this to me is the best representation of a video gamification of that concept. I don't really like when people just straight port games and books into video games. Often that just shows the holes in the original, like board game, for example. All of a sudden your board game's actually kind of boring because the computer's doing all the computing. But yeah, this is a cool idea if you're trying to build around that demographic and that sort of idea of a choose your own adventure RPG style book, text-based thing, and then put into a video game. This is probably the absolute primo example. We're going to jump in and have a bit of a look. But I really like it because you sort of, well, you're a road warden, I'm sure the game will cover it, but it's small scale, right? It's got this sort of hedge knight vibe to it. It's you and your horse and your limited equipment, and you have to work within those small constraints and overcome the challenges as you go through. I quite like that micro scale, small fish in a big world. Everyone knows to stay away from the wilderness. Most people would never risk a lonely journey. Road wardens not only accept this struggle, they embrace it. They deliver messages, assist merchants, burn human corpses, and, if possible, get rid of the beasts and highwaymen. They live on the road, die young, or retire early. It's a dangerous job, but a respectable one, and it pays well. So I suppose Witcher adjacent, right? But of the community in a way. I leave the safety of the city walls. I still have my doubts? No. Never. Pick a difficulty mode, it can't be altered. Standard. 40-day time limit. Alright, whatever, that sounds good. Let's go. I'm not sure difficulty was part of the original launch. So we've got this really cool little art as well. And I like less is more, right? I find it interesting when you start stripping away, like, it's not just graphics that are going for it but didn't quite make it. You know, a lot of AA jank games try for realism but they fail horribly because they don't have the budget. But my point is that when you start stripping away all the trappings of modern AAA gaming, you get to really see what's under the hood and if there's actually a good game there. And a lot of the AAA stuff doesn't really hold up when all they are is a crappy story and pretty graphics. The wall is still standing. There are no wolves around, no stench of blood. Good signs. This should be the place that you're looking for. You are supposed to meet with a group of soldiers, but you hear no voices, no sounds of labour. The gate is ajar, but the camp isn't safe. It may keep away the goblins and pebblers, but not beast folk nor trolls. Then the night is near. Your palfrey breathes heavily. It had a long day. I could just look for another shelter. Look around cautiously, dismount and sneak to the gate, into the camp briskly. I mean, that's pretty big dick. I might do that actually, bugger it, let's go. Let's roll. Oh, I got hurt already, Jesus. Your heavy boots hit the ground and the pain of the long ride finally catches up with you. You stretch out, bringing your back and legs comfort. All you want now is a table, a decent chair, a nice mug of beer and some warm stew, and with any luck, your axe won't be needed here. I approach the gate ready to walk in. You take care of yourself. If you're hurt or exhausted, some actions won't be available to you. The weaker you are, the higher the chance that you'll die in combat. Okay, cool. I do like that. Right, the other end of the scale, is 2% lightning resistance increase, on a Tuesday if it's overcast. I can't stand these crappy incremental, you're trying to tell me they're upgrades, but all they are the percentages on a spreadsheet. I like this being a little bit more vague. Try and keep your health up, and because it'll affect stuff. That's good. I find that more immersive. Always boggles me. Everyone loves these CRPGs, these Boulder Gate type games with 1 billion incremental 1-point statistics, and I'm like, how is that anything but immersion breaking? If it's a military camp, it doesn't look the part. I like this, how they've sort of cut away and shown what's there. It doesn't look the part. Plenty of wasted space. The fire pit is cold. 2 people are sitting at the table. Why is that highlighted? Can I click on it? Don't do that, Scarlet. That's right click. They're sitting at the table, tired and disheartened. They're looking in different directions, paying no attention to one another. One of them is holding a cup. I walk towards them. It takes them a few breaths to glance in your direction. The first person greets you with a wave of his hand. There are bags under his eyes. His beard is messy. Despite his simple shirt, he's wearing durable, decent boots. A mace with a head covered in iron hangs at his side, but he doesn't reach for it. I take a look at the second soul. Just like you, she's wearing a gambeson, but hers is a bit loose, as if she took it off a corpse. Her head is shaven, as if she's protecting herself from flesh-eating bugs, very Alien 3. Her eyes are weary yet kind, and she smiles. Considering the squad was sent here half a year ago, these 2 surely look the part. Though there should be more of them. 8, you believe. Let them speak first. It's nice to see an unharmed traveller in this godforsaken shithole. Makes me just a tiny bit helpful. The bearded man's voice is strong, yet timid. You'll be staying the night with us, I guess. We're soldiers, he and I, adds the armoured woman. Her voice switches from half asleep to relaxed. We'll do our best to keep the camp safe, but if you were to take the first watch, it would be a huge help. Travellers ought to help each other, wouldn't you say? You think for a moment, to fully rest, you'd need a good sleep. I'm exhausted. I mean, it is a peace offering. Sure, leave it to me. If they're going to trust me and let me take first watch, that's pretty cool. Fantastic, she rubs her hands together. I don't remember the last time I had more than a half a night of sleep. The hours before midnight should be the calmest. Just wake us up if anything happens. The man flashes you a wide smile. It's easy to wake us up. Just yell. He drinks from his mug. Asks about their lieutenant. You wonder how to phrase your question. Whenever you meet new people, you can influence how they perceive you by selecting one of the attributes. Friendly, playful, no, distanced, intimidating, or vulnerable. Yuck, who would pick that? Who in their right mind would roleplay that? I will be friendly. I was hoping to meet with your lieutenant. Could we talk for a bit? The woman lets out a loud sigh, dusts off her gambeson and steps toward you. She pays little attention to the sword at her side. We most definitely can. You and I, though holding this rank, is still somewhat new to me. Are you a messenger? Did you lose your mount? She observes you with curiosity. Or are you looking to help? I'm your new Roadwarden. My horse is waiting outside. Oh, really? The soldier in the shirt leans forward. That explains how you got here in one piece all by yourself. Better bring your beast in here, adds the lieutenant. We had no hay, but I bet it dreams of dropping its saddle. A long pause. I'm Tulia, by the way. She reaches out her hand. It may be a trap. I gesture for her to stop, pretending to be embarrassed. No. I shake her hand. I'm Leto. That'll do. That's the default. Her grasp is confident, the shake is slight. Just keep your horse away from the tents. She steps away. We don't need to smell its dung. There's this one issue. The soldier in the shirt also rises to his feet. With no tent to spare, you'll have to use a blanket or something. No problem. I enjoy observing the stars. I should get used to... Oh, there you go. There you go. I'll be not flippant, but, I'll stay warm. You walk through the gate. Your mount looks around and snorts anxiously. Not many humans could ride a horse. It's not only taller than you, but also bulky, as heavy as it is strong. You can get in the saddle with a single breath, but most people wouldn't know where to even begin. From every side, it's a wall of flesh. Horses were brought to the Dragon Woods from the conquests in the south. They can trot for a long time, but won't outrun some of the local monsters. Your palfrey needs to survive, but without it, you too would be lost. Right, okay. It's my only companion here. I want it to feel at ease. I don't care how it feels, but I need it to be strong if I want to travel. I can't afford another one. Well, that's the truth of it. It keeps watching its surroundings, ignoring your approach. You clear your throat and reach out for the reins, and only then the beast responds with a stomp of its leg. Humans see useful animals and even pets as monsters in disguise. Getting emotionally attached to them is believed to lead humans to their doom. Yeah, I mean, look at all these dickheads that think it's healthy to own 5 cats. There was a point in my living memory where you should be ashamed if that's how you are, but I digress. I lead it to the camp. You end up next to the fire pit. Removing the saddle makes the horse nicker with relief. You take a couple of minutes to examine its back, just in case. While the riding equipment is not that heavy for such a strong animal, with enough time it starts to chafe. You wish it had something better to eat than this shabby grass. You should look for an inn. I need to unpack. You haven't brought that many things and lost one of the sacks while fleeing the Crimson Corpse Eaters. Ooh. Worst of all, you have no rope left, but maybe the soldiers could share one? Shouldn't cost more than a dragon bow. Aside from the travel set, you own few valuable possessions essentially for your trade. Fighter, mage, skull. Oh, I spent my savings on decent combat equipment. I have a fine gambeson, an axe made of steel, and a reliable crossbow with quarrels. We don't even need to read the other ones. What's this? Open your inventory to see your possessions. Taking hits will damage your armor. You can fix it in settlements. Armor 3 out of 4. Oh yeah, okay, you can see. It will stop even a life-threatening strike with your current gambeson. It is the best protection you can get. You unpacked and unspec'd your belongings. Your water skin isn't pierced. The spare clothes are still here. Just in case, you take a look at your wooden bowl and mug, your cape, tinderbox, bandages, food rations, knife, nothing special or too cumbersome. From time to time, your routine helps you avoid mistakes, but this doesn't make it any more exciting. And if we can check our inventory, unless you're occupied with another task, you can eat food, drink potions, and use your items from this menu. Be sure to click on each new item you receive, as some of them can have unusual applications. Food rations consist of dried meat, crackers, nuts, seeds, fruit, and water, which spoil slowly and don't require additional cooking. Okay, you can see here, nourishment 2 out of 4. That's my current nourishment. No penalties nor bonuses. Okay. Merchandise, a pouch with coins. Alright, they're the categories. The city artisans make coins by cutting dragon bones into slices. They're valued by merchants, though rarely used in the countryside. Okay, we've got a bit more reading here. I don't mean to skim, but it is text heavy and, we want to sort of get into the game as much as possible. We've got a travelling set, crossbow, battle axe, very cool. I return to the soldiers. They're at the table again, observing your beasts and chatting between themselves. Your stomach growls at the sight of eating out of wooden bowls, or the sight of them eating. One more bowl was put at a previously unused end of the table. You can sit down on a tree log. I join them and take a look at the meal. I thank them for the meal, but I don't want to eat with them. Why not? I completely ignore the meal? No, I want to get fed. Let's go. They seem nice enough. It's cold gruel, the meal eaten in times of hardship. This specific bowl is filled with water, hog millet, some strange-looking cereals and blueberries. Wonderful. Keeping your stomach full will make you stronger. Starvation won't allow you to restore vitality while resting. You can find your supplies in inventory. Okay, so that's my nourishment. Welcoming you with a meal, even a humble one, is beyond their duty. Soldiers live with and for their companions, constantly on the move from one part of the realm to the other, making sacrifices to protect their group as they face dozens of hideous creatures. Their lives are filled with discipline, hardship, and camaraderie. Roadwardens, on the other hand, learn how to work by themselves. They seldom engage in open combat, patrolling the same roads for years. They help the settlement stay in touch, but also maintain commerce, settle down, forge friendships. When there are no laws to follow, they use their own judgment. Yeah, okay, cool. I like it. It's a cool sort of little early society, I don't want to say a policeman, but yeah, more of a community-minded warrior, I suppose. Different responsibilities, different lifestyles. I eat quickly, not focusing on the taste, and speak with Tulia. Oh, there we go, my nourishment's gone up. It's easier for you to overcome physical struggles. Well, that's good. She's focused and chooses her words carefully. She looks away only when she gathers her thoughts. I'm afraid I can tell you less than I would like to, and less than I should. She nods toward the other soldier. As you can see, there's not a lot of us left. At the beginning of the summer, there were 8 of us, including our previous lieutenant. 5 are dead, 1 has run away in tears. We're also strangers in this land, adds her companion. Any piece of information may help me do my job. The man leans forward, he shakes his legs shake nervously. He sounds like a kid asking a bard to sing one more story, tell a joke, or do a magic trick, whatever it takes to escape from the boredom. His untrimmed beard hides a much younger face than you originally thought. What did the officials tell you? I expect not that much. No soul governs these lands. I share what I consider relevant. What I've discussed. No. These guys seems friendly, and I'm going to be friendly. They might be my only friends here. You tell the soldiers how little guidance you've received. Since this area is too far away from Hovlavan? Okay. What an awful name. It's hard to pronounce, I don't like it. To keep it under control, you were warned that it's untamed and unknown. Who knows how many villages, bandits, or monsters may be found in these unmapped hills and forests. From time to time, new people come here to look for boundless opportunities. Most of them never return. Do they turn into walking corpses or find what they're looking for? No soul could tell me, so I was looking for your guidance. The lieutenant, I suppose lieutenant, depending on how snobbish you are. Well, it's not even snobbish, actually. I could take a moment to explain it. I bet there's already someone gotten in the comments trying to correct me. It's a trap, mate. I've baited you. Lieutenant and lieutenant are 2 different ranks in 2 different branches of Australian military. And a lot of people don't know that if all they've done is watched TV and they think they know better. So an army lieutenant is... Let me think about this. Is the equivalent rank... An army first lieutenant is the equivalent rank of a navy sub-lieutenant, whereas a lieutenant in the Navy is the same rank as a captain in the Army. It's been a while since I thought about it. Anyway, so I say lieutenant because I'm Navy. Or I was, in another life. Seeing, cross her legs, ankle and the knee. Seeing her chair makes you doubt she'll ever find a comfortable position. Where should we start? Jesus. Before I continue my journey, I need to ask them about the Peninsula, Roadwarden, and the rope. Okay, walls of text. What should I know about the Peninsula? I'll tell you what I know, and you'll be the judge, says the lieutenant. It's good writing, isn't it? It's quite immersive, it's cool. I haven't even commented. As far as art, it's just been this one still frame this whole time, pretty much. It's drip feeding me these greater mechanics, all time till dusk as well, which I think are really cool. So there is still an RPG mechanic, albeit we seem to be working in systems of 4, which I prefer. I like the limited inventory and the fact that, like, what was it? We've got like 3 arrows in our crossbow. every decision is going to be serious, right? As opposed, and look, I don't want to bash on, say, an ARPG up the other end of the scale, but if you're playing Path of Exile or bloody Diablo, within 30 seconds of playing that, you've killed 50 dudes with a bazillion lightning bolts. Like, it's a very different way to go about it. This is much more deliberate. It's slow. It's a slow burn, right? And some of these, riddled and addled people of today probably can't handle that. But personally, I find it a breath of fresh air, moving a bit slower. But not always the most watchable YouTube video, I know that. What's this? How long did it take you to get here from the city? On a decent palfrey, I'd guess it would be 3 or 4 days. When you confirm, she continues. From here, you could reach the coast in about a day, as long as you don't make any stops. Do you know the situation why no ships can get here? You nod. The sea route allows Hovlevan officials to keep in touch with the coastal villages, collect taxes, move the soldiers, collect lumber, deliver tools, but maintaining order on a wild coast such as this one is like filling the ocean depths with coins. Because of the rocks, you can hardly stop a ship 5 miles from the shore and boats can't get much closer. She nods. I don't know much about fishing, but there's not that many people living by the shore, and they don't crave to stay in touch with the city folk. As she pauses, her companion carries on. No soul from the north ever came to the camp, but when we travel to the roadside inn, Pelt of the North, they're happy to trade and to play dice. Why not just stay at one of the settlements? The man clears his throat. I mean, we're to guard this road. This camp is our post, and, well, he turns towards Julia. She lowers her voice. Don't take it the wrong way, Leto, but are you a devout soul? Ooh, okay. Like most city folk, I believe that people should unite their strength to overcome the threat of nature and dark magic. Everyone will be judged for the both good and evil deeds. I'm part of the United Church. That'll do, right? But it's kind of cool that we're going down that sort of religious bent, and you get to choose where you sit. You can be more pagan. A fellow unites, the man smiles. Though in this land it won't bring you much good. At least we can discuss the topic freely, adds the lieutenant with a barely visible smile. Let's get into it. Okay, cool. So you've got city folk, you've got city religion. This is more of the wildlands, right? This is fringe. We're leaving the inner suburbs and going out into the wild, where maybe things are done a little bit different. The people here are disquieting. Every few words, she taps the table with her finger. Their traditions won't help them negotiate with the officials. Here, she starts to draw lines with an index finger, as if she's pointing an invisible map. The peninsula is connected with roads, like a big circle. In the northwest, you'll find a weird village at a bog. It's not exactly pagan, I don't think. It even has a priest who claims to be an eremite. You nod. She means a fellowship. They do crazy shit, her companion chirps in. They use the dead to cut down trees and dig in soil. Once I saw it, I begged never to return there. I see, okay. So the traditional sort of city church might be a little bit more sheltered from the way, maybe, like I don't know if they're necessarily necromancers in the evil sense, but it sounds like maybe they're using them as labor, zombies and that. You've heard such tales as this one since you were a child. If an isolated settlement manages to survive without a city's influence, its customs and traditions grow more and more alien. Every generation learns how to adapt to the dangerous conditions that they have to deal with, and the rustic pagan traditions muddy their river of faith. This paragraph, right? Now, obviously, I might be putting my hand in the bloody trap, because 5 hours from now, this game might turn around and start browbeating some bullshit ideology. That is the trap of modern games. But for now, this is an example of really good writing and what the standard should be at current day. That one paragraph is enough. It's nuanced, it's multifaceted, it's not telling you that one thing's right and one thing's wrong, right? Whereas, the meme where the dude looks like he's going to pop a vessel because he needs to jump in and tell you something, right? Explaining a meme, you fucking boomer. But like that's what I see this paragraph as an opportunity for a hack modern writer, generally speaking. Obviously, I'm singing praise of this game, but this would be an opportunity to jump in and say something wry or, try and poison the well, I don't know, probably against the church or the establishment or the man or something like that. Instead, what this game has done, it's just laying out how it is, and you can make your own judgment from within, right? The city's got serious influence. These people live in a different place. They live in the wilds. I think within a paragraph it covers so much. How generationally they're getting attacked by fucking monsters and all sorts of stuff. They have to come up with their own rule set, especially when people from the big city are hardly ever coming out there to enforce or inform or anything like that. Anyway, just because we're about to wrap up here, I thought I would sort of just highlight that as an interesting point. It's good. It's good that we've still got, because this came out, a year ago, I suppose, so it's fairly modern and it's definitely incredibly indie. But this sort of writing is great, Yeah, I don't want to be negative and just keep bashing, but that is a sticking point for me at the moment, and anyone that's followed the channel for a while knows that it's a bit of a straw that broke the camel's. But I'm getting a little bit fed up. It's less about, you know what it is, honestly? We'll close out on this, just some thoughts with Scarlet. It's less at the industry itself. It's the fact that we allow it to happen as consumers. We just consume and we eat shit and we beg for more and we say, thank you, that's delicious. Keep giving me some really average AAA games. And you can't really hold it against the AAA game industry to do that if you're just going to keep eating their games. So if you're like me and you're a little bit fed up with the fare that is available in mainstream, check this out. This seems really cool. I have played more of it before when it did come out. And I know that you on the road, coming up against monsters on the road, maybe fighting each other or eating the corpses, and you got to figure out, well, what do I do? Do I go off cross country to go around them? Do I send a crossbow bolt down range? You sort of problem solve. So it's not just straight up combat from the get go. You use your tools in your tool belt to try and navigate the scenario. Anyway. If it sounds like I'm singing this with high praise, it's because I am. I think it's a brilliant little game, and it's very, very cheap, and right now it's even cheaper. I think it's like $10 or something like that on sale. So you should get it. All right, team, that's enough from me. Might just leave it there for the time being, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.